These three boys used to study together in high school and just had the opportunity to meet each other. After so many years, each person has a place with their own life. Among them is Minwo, who is a warm boy from an aristocratic family. To celebrate this reunion, the three of them immediately took each other to have a drink. As a result, the warm Minwo boy was dull first, so he collapsed on the table and didn't know what the moon and water were. When the party was over, Chi, his friend, proceeded to take out the prince's fee to pay for the meal. After that, the two of them asked this Minwo friend to the house that the Chihu medical school student was renting. At this time, Jun Sung was close to his friend Chihu. I am in debt to loan sharks with an amount of up to 400 million. I used to make up my mind to live well right after I was discharged. But now I'm throwing it away. And people who are good at getting into medical school like you probably don't understand the hearts of unemployed people like me. The Chihu guy immediately remembered that he had been listed on the list of medical school dropouts, so he could only put his head down in his chair. After that, Prince Minwo's phone kept ringing. Chihu picked up the phone and saw that his mother was making a lot of missed calls. After a moment of hesitation, Chihu decided to pick up the phone and said, "Your son is in my hands. If you want to see him again, prepare $1 billion and don't tell anyone about it, if you want your son to be alive." When Jun Sung saw it, he thought Chihu was joking. But the medical student said that I was asking for $1 billion. After Jun Sung heard this, he tried to snatch the phone to call his friend Minwo's mother and spoke up to stop Chihu from doing crazy things. It's not the 80s now, it only takes one day for the police to find out. Just now there are dozens of security cameras that are crazy. Chihu said that you just need to turn off the phone. How can you trace all those cameras? Just now at the restaurant also paid in cash, and taxis were also caught on the road. But Jun Sung was still scared that I would call the police, and Chihu said that if I did, you would be an accomplice, and you would have carried Minwo back here. You don't know why I'm doing that. Me and you will each get that 500 million. Both of our lives are broken. They'll give you 5 minutes to think about whether to do it. Jun Sung immediately struggles with Chihu to snatch his friend Minwo's phone back. On this side, his friend Minwo's mother calls her son but can't get in touch anymore. Chihu threw the phone under the refrigerator and told him that even if he worked hard all his life, he wouldn't be able to earn 500 million, and what about him? The building he named alone has reached billions of guan. Jun Sung immediately called his friend a crazy guy and tried to pull out the phone, and Chihu still tried to convince Jun Sung. Some people are lucky to have good parents and live a prosperous life, but some people are discharged from the army. Their lives are also broken. Take 5 minutes to think. After that, the Chihu medical school student went to a convenience store and collected all the duct tape and drawstrings in the supermarket. And the prince's mother, Minwo, invites a private detective to her house to ask how to deal with the kidnapper, because the mother did not want to report to the police that her son was being arrested by the bad guys. After the detective left, the mother asked her secretary to contact the Federation immediately. Jun Sung is now plugging in Minwo's phone and is about to call his friend's mother. Then Chihu went home again. Then Chihu snatched the phone and ran into the room. Chihu taped Minwo's limbs with tape and took a few pictures, then sent them to Minwo's mother. Jun Sung breaks down the door and grabs Chiha's collar. Then the two find his friend Minwo waking up with a plastic bag covering his face, and kept telling me to save me, because I didn't want Minwo to find out that I was an accomplice. So Jun Sung immediately picked up a book and hit it on the head, causing Minwo to lose consciousness. The medical student checks and finds that Minwo's pulse is still beating and is only temporarily unconscious. Jun Sung continues to convince his reckless friend. Let's take Minwo to the hospital and call his mother and tell her we're just getting drunk and joking. She's going to ignore it. I'm begging you. Suddenly, they both hear someone knocking on the door of the house, and Chai Wu opens the door to see two policemen standing outside. Because someone telegraphed to the police that there was a very humid fight in this apartment. Chai Wu explained that the two grandchildren only had a rough argument, but the police still wanted to enter the house to check it carefully. The two policemen looked at every nook and cranny and the rooms in the house. When he was about to open the cabinet where Minwo was hiding, Jun Sung grabbed Chai Wu's collar. After that, the two gradually shrunk back and forth and argued loudly. Jun Sung knocked the policeman down and strangled Chai Wu. After that, the policeman gave him an electric gun to his body. Very quickly, both of them were escorted to the post to write a report. If the two of you don't give the same testimony, you will be sent to prison immediately, you understand. Jun Sung was extremely hesitant now, and then he was going to get his hands dirty to tell the police everything. Suddenly a man ran in and asked the police to help him find a missing old woman. The police also said that there are thousands of security cameras there. How can we fake them all? Jun Sung immediately remembered the words that his friend Chai Woo had said to him earlier, so it feels like the police seem to have a hard time finding Minwo's friend who is locked up at home. After that, the two were also released. Jun Sung asked the friend who still wanted to do this later. Chai Woo said that the photo had already been sent. Now there is still a way to retreat. Jun Sung immediately remembered the huge debt that he lacked the gypsies for his heavy shoulders. Can't make him want to redo his life. Then the guy asked his friend Chai Woo, "You definitely won't get arrested and can get the money, right? And you're going to release Minwo after you get the money, right?" Chai Woo said of course because I already had a plan. The two go home and try to negotiate with Minwo's friend who is blinded and has the same face. Chai Woo uses voice reading software to chat with his friend Minwo, because he couldn't let him know that he was being held captive by two friends who used to study together. Chai Woo announces that he is in custody. If they obediently cooperate, they will be returned to their families. After that, Jun Sung Kai removed the gag for his friend Minwo. The guy took a few breaths and called out Jun Sung's name. "You think him a granny." Minwo said that when he was in middle school, his parents used to tell his child, "Maybe you don't realize that you were born into a very wealthy family. You should know that there are 1,000 times more bad people than good people. So I decided to let my child go to a normal high school. In that place you might be bullied. If there are any friends who approach you just for money, then you have to let them know that you are not easy at all. My son Park Minwo must remember this. Absolutely do not be gullible. That's why I was no longer a weak Park Minwo. And no one dared to look down on me anymore. I believed it was like that, but maybe I was a long way from it. Don't untie it anymore, I don't find it interesting, Jun Sung. I remember you carried me there last night." Chai Woo clicked to say, "You don't know us. If you don't cooperate, you'll be in danger." Minwo immediately stood up and waved when he was hugged by Jun Sung. Minwo sniffed and said, "It's you, Jun Sung. How can I forget your cheap perfume? And you said we were just now." Jun Sung immediately covered Minwo's mouth. "Put on your headphones and red ape them." At this time, Minwo's mother is going to a stadium to meet the wild chairman, and announced that my son had been kidnapped. The chairman asked the mother to take care of her personal affairs on her own. I warned her not to come here to find me because it was not related to work again. Let me send an inquiry to her late husband. And the lady immediately said that if you don't help me, then I will go to the police immediately and report to the president of the Youth Ball League. He is the leader of the illegal betting line and I will tell them everything. I'm telling him not to show his face to a mother who is losing her child. After that, the chairman also ordered the subordinate to find the whereabouts of her son, before she went to make a random declaration. At home now, Chai Woo still decides to go to school to study normally and try to comfort his friend Jun Sung. Everything will be fine. In a few days, he'll go get Minwo's mother's money. She must be hesitating now whether or not to call the police. Today I have important things at school to deal with. Chai Woo walked outside and looked at the owner of the building's son. This guy admitted that I was the one who called the police to check on his house last night. For I could hear very clearly the sound of shattering and screaming coming from your house. Chai Woo immediately apologized for causing trouble. After that, they also walked, and Jun Sung decided to follow Chai Woo to the medical school to investigate. Chai Woo walked into the room and asked the professor directly, "It's true that I cheated in the exam, but I didn't do this alone. Why were the other 3 friends only fined and suspended, while I was the only one who was expelled from school?" The professor said that he was the only one who was captured in the battle. Chai Woo immediately said that he knew that the parents of the other 3 friends had given him money to enter the school so that he would not be expelled. "Now how much is enough to give to you? Can you give 500 million? Jun Sung was standing outside and could clearly hear the conversation inside. At home now, Minwo is tied up and lets him listen to music in the closet. Then the guy tried to rub his face against a book. Then he tore off the plastic wrap that was covering one of his eyes. Minwo slammed the door hard, and then saw a jacket outside, which his friend Chai Woo used to wear when the 3 of them went out drinking together the night before. Police officer Swan came to the station to work and was informed by a colleague. Someone was shot with an electric gun last night in the building where she was staying. Someone called to report that there was a fight in an apartment in it, but I don't know how the 2 young men fought, but they were shot with electric guns and handcuffed here. Chai Woo goes to a public phone pole and calls Minwo's mother, warning mothers not to report to the police that their son is missing. "Remember that we are always watching you, so prepare 1 billion yuan and give it to me tomorrow." My mother immediately said that I needed at least 3 days to be able to raise that money. But Chai-woo asks her to prepare enough money tomorrow, or her child will die. When Jun-sung comes home, he finds the cabinet door open. So the guy used all the room to open the cabinet door, and then he saw that Minwo was opening one eye. So she immediately covered her friend's eyes with her hand, and Jun-sung took off the gag and heard Minwo say, "Quickly handing me the medicine." Jun-sung ran to open the voice reader software and asked Minwo not to pretend to be sick anymore. Later, he sees that his friend Minwo is having a seizure, so Jun-sung immediately calls Chai-woo, but the phone is turned off. At this time, police officer Swan was patrolling the area under Chae-woo's house when she saw the neighbor walking home. After answering the phone, she immediately sped up and ran very fast, which made the policewoman Swan very suspicious. Chai-woo ran home and saw his friend Jun-sung's helpless expression. After opening the door to the room, he saw his friend Minwo sitting calmly in the room and was no longer blindfolded. And the reason that Jun-sung decided to open the mask to Minwo was because he remembered 5 years ago, when all three were high school students. During a friendly soccer match between classmates, at that time Minwo was the goalkeeper but always looked up to the sky. Therefore, Jun-sung easily put the ball into the net, but suddenly Minwo fainted on the ground. Both guys go to a clinic to prepare to buy medicine for Minwo to take. Jun-sung assures Chai-woo that Minwo has a recurrence of the same anxiety disorder as he did in high school. But Chai-woo said that in the past, when he was playing soccer, he was just sunstroke, don't let him fool him. Chai-woo was worried and said to his friend Jun-sung, "The situation is different now because the hostages already know the faces of the two anglers, so we need to find a way to solve it immediately." Police officer Swan and her lover review the camera data in front of the rental building of her lover. And I saw that the night before, there were 3 young men who entered the building together. But why did the police search only find 2 people? After that, review the scene where the police escorted 2 people to the car to go to the station. Policewoman Swan suspects that a person has been eliminated already. Maybe even the body was taken away by the monk. So the policewoman immediately asked her lover to go and report the crime. Minwo's mother now goes to the bank and withdraws exactly 1 billion won in cash. Because she suddenly withdrew a large amount of money, the mother was questioned by the financial inspector to see if she was scammed by someone pretending to be a police officer over the phone, or if she was blackmailed by anyone. But my mother insisted that I was not suffering from anything. Jun-sung brought the medicine home and gave it to his sperm friend. Minwo asks why you guys are doing that to me, and Chai-woo replies that I need 500 million. To be precise, we will ask your mother for 1 billion won to see in half. When Minwo asks why you guys need so much money, Chai-woo refuses to reveal it. But Jun-sung admits, I bet before I enlisted, and Chai-woo is about to be expelled from school. I'm really sorry Minwo, we've been pushed too hard. Minwo repeatedly scolds the 2 friends for being bastards and then asks, if you get the money, are you sure that you will release me? Why don't the flyers answer me? Jun-sung tells him to just promise that he will act like nothing happened. Minwo nodded and said, as long as I'm released, I won't say anything to anyone. But Chai-woo smiled again. Minwo asked to be allowed to go to the toilet and eat properly, because anyway we are about to receive 1 billion. Chai-woo was thinking about a plan when Jun-sung said I needed to visit home for a while, and admit that I was secretly watching, so I knew you were about to be expelled from school. Chai-woo said that there is no way out now, there is no other way but to eliminate it. I can buy sleeping pills at my school's hospital, it won't hurt at all. Jun-sung argued loudly, he's our friend. A few days ago we even went out for a drink together, how could you say that? Chai-woo told him that he believed he would shut up after being released. Naturally, his mother gave the 2 of us 500 million each to live comfortably for the rest of her life. Jun-sung still insisted on asking Chai-woo not to do that. I don't know what to do next, but remember to feed him properly, and call me if anything happens. Police officer Swan and her lover showed the video of all 3 young men entering the building to the local police. But the policeman said that he would ever be angry and leave. With his own eyes, he saw that there were only 2 people in that apartment. Did you know that there are 56 noisy complaints between floors in those buildings every day? But this incident caused him to fire an electric gun, so he remembers it very well. There are only 2 people, if you have any doubts, please bring solid evidence. I'm sorry, but I can't do it all now. Police officer Swan refused to give up, but kept rolling the security camera, while sitting at a convenience store near her house. When he saw the employee, he gave the black bag to the customer to take home. The policewoman immediately looked at the camera and saw, the night before, Chahu had taken the same black bag and ran home. So I immediately went in with my lover to review the security camera data of the supermarket. But because the camera is out of the corner, I don't know what Chahu bought. The supermarket clerk told him to buy all the plastic tapes and drawstrings. He suddenly came in to clean up every week, so I was very impressed and remembered forever. And are the two of you really doing official business? The policewoman immediately asked his lover. Does his mother have a universal key to all rooms? Ian's subordinate sits in front of the restaurant where Minwo used to drink before he goes missing, and report to the chairman that he will catch the anglers. But the chairman said I didn't care about the safety of that warm boy. It's important that you supervise his mother, Ami, which is important to me. Then the shaggy-haired junior walked in and announced. That night, all three people drank inside and paid in cash. One of them was wearing a medical university coat. Jun Sung went back to his father's house when he was about to open the door to the house. Then the barehead men gave heavy interest to collect debts. The leader ordered the juniors to prepare to throw the Jun Sung on the ground. Since he hadn't seen him for a few days, Jun Sung explained that I was just at my father's shop. When he was about to be thrown down, Jun Sung kicked the two bears hard. Then he picked up a tree for defense and promised to pay the full amount. Please stop, the leader said that if you don't pay, I will take your organs. Jun Sung immediately remembers Minwo's promise to be silent when the two of them receive the mouse money and release him. So the guy told the leader that I would make a lot of money in a few days. At home now, Chai Woo is cooking noodles for Minwo to eat. Chai Woo asks if he won't tell anyone about this after he gets out of here. Minwo said firmly, and how can I be full with a package of noodles? At least 2 packets, or add cold rice. If you don't have it, add a little broth. Chai Woo immediately went into the kitchen and poured a little more boiling broth into the bowl of noodles and put it on the table. Minwo picked up the bowl and felt that the broth was very hot. So he threw the bowl of broth into Chai Woo's face and ran away. But Chai Woo runs after him and pulls Minwo down. Chai Woo picks up the javelin and crabs go crazy because he can't see anything anymore. Minwo runs into the bathroom and locks the door and tries to open the bars to get out. But the bars were too strong to do anything, and Chai Woo kept kicking the door outside. Minwo saw a pair of scissors and immediately used it to open the glare for himself, making the guy mutter, "If you don't get the money, I'll shut up. I'm not as stupid as you think." The guy picked up the toilet bowl and couldn't hear any sound outside. So he opened the door and walked out, but he couldn't see Chai Woo anywhere. Suddenly, Chai Woo holds a flowing ball stick and hits the hostage friend's body repeatedly. Minwo cried and said, "You're not that kind of person. In the past, when he was in the schoolyard, he carried me to the infirmary. He used to save me." Chai Woo says it's not me, and then makes another stick. The policewoman in the opposite house looked through the door and saw Chai Woo running out. So she went to the apartment where Chai Woo was staying. After that, using the universal magnetic card to open the door of this apartment, the patrol policewoman slowly went inside to search. At this time, Chai Woo is going to a store that sells all the repair equipment and decides to buy a hammer. The policewoman opened the door of the room and saw many red knife marks on the wall, and then heard a scream coming from inside the cabinet. Suddenly, she hears that someone is leaving, so she immediately finds a place to hide. Chai Woo angrily goes home, opens the closet, and holds a hammer in her hand. Then, trying to hit Minwo's leg, the policewoman pulls out the phone and drops the card from the power to the ground, and Jun Sung arrives at this time. And hearing the screams in Chai Woo's house, he immediately ran in to prevent Chai Woo from hurting his hostage friend Minwo. Chai Woo told this guy to throw boiling water in my face to run away. He dodged so I could deal with him. Minwo shouted loudly and asked me to spare me, and Jun Sung tried to stop his friend Chai Woo, taking advantage of the time when the three were gradually arguing with each other. The policewoman gently ran out to the door and gently opened the latch with her hand. Minwo screams when he sees Chai Woo about to hit him. "Money, I have 10 billion, not only 500 million, I can give you 10 billion, let me go, let's sit down and discuss and then decide." Minwo later said that his late father was the founder of a huge investment company and also made an equally huge amount of money. "In the past, my father drove me to a place with many warehouses, and my father opened the door of a warehouse. After that, I clicked the code to open the door of a secret room, and then I knew that this was my father's secret iron. I myself touched it, and the amount is up to tens of billions. I will give all that money to the two of you, I promise. After all, my father died suddenly of a heart attack. I'm in this situation, so I don't dare to lie." Jun Sung said that if you take that money, there is no need to kill people and there will be no kidnappings. Minwo shouted, "If we split that money, wouldn't we be accomplices? And that's just the words of the wise friend Minwo. Because in the past, that room was just a place to store Minwo's family memories. And the policewoman has now escaped outside. After that, Chai-woo decides to call Minwo's mother, ask her to bring 1 billion guan to the subway tomorrow. The mother asked the secretary, "I will go there alone. This time you have to report to the police to have a plan B, don't tell the chairman to know." Immediately afterwards, the secretary immediately sent a secret message, telling the chairman that the police may be involved this time. The next morning, Jun-sung asks Chai-woo to go and inspect the warehouse where Minwo said about the money. But Chai-woo said that I had an early class this morning, so I had to go to school to study. Jun-sung walked inside and asked Minwo, "Where you said there was really money there?" Minwo immediately told me to tell the truth. Jun-sung said quietly, "If you lie now, I don't know what to do." Let's go inside. After that, Minwo also happily cooperates to be locked in a closet by Jun-sung. Police officer Swan and her lover go to the police station to report the crime. Last night we witnessed a kidnapping. At this time, the police officer Swan's brother was also present at this police station. The police officer also told the story to his father. Someone is in custody and is likely to lose his life in his neighbor's apartment. I used the hostess universal key to enter it. I called the police, but they ignored me. The policeman immediately said, "So you have entered the house illegally. Whether it is imprisonment or arrest, that act is not a crime. Didn't you have an interview exam the other day? I'm worried about reviewing. Shouldn't I keep failing the exam?" Officer N was angry and said that I would definitely follow this case to the end. Otherwise, I would rather not be a police officer anymore. After that, the policewoman led her to leave. At this time, a shipper drove over and handed over a package to Chae-hoo. Inside there was a brick phone so that it was difficult for the police to trace the call. As for Jun-sung, he went alone to the location of the warehouses containing the money that Min-woo had pointed to. But the outer barrier door was locked tightly. Jun-sung immediately looked for another way to go inside. After searching for a while, I also found a warehouse with the word WN that Min-woo pointed to. But the warehouse door is locked to 3 locks. Suddenly, the manager of these warehouses appeared. Jun-sung pretends to be the one who wants to come to rent a warehouse. Entering the office to drink tea with the manager, Jun-sung looked around and saw that there were 3 hunters' guns in this room. The guy then asked the manager, "If you want to preserve something such as insurance, will you accept it? The manager can tell you right away. There are a lot of people who send that stuff here. The warehouse you saw just now also had insurance in it." Lady Amos' subordinates began to load the suitcase into the car and then drove the lady away. Chairman Hong's subordinate Yongo was also ambushed and followed Lady Ami. Minwo's mother pulled the suitcase into the station alone. The 4 juniors of Yongo's subordinate also immediately followed. Chai-woo texts to ask Minwo's mother, "I need to check if she really came alone. Get on the next train. If you don't get on it, your son will stop breathing right away." The lady hurriedly pulled her suitcase and ran up the stairs. After that, you can also enter the tram as soon as the door is about to close. And the 4 barehead men were left behind. Chai-woo continued to ask Minwo's mother to get off at the next station and to get off by the front door of the train. The mother immediately ran out of this submersible train and then shouted loudly for everyone to get out of the way. Chai-woo continued to text asking his mother to go to Station 3. After studying the station diagram and operating hours of the trains, then he asked the lady to change the location to tramline number 5, causing Minwo's mother to be rotated as if in the movie. The lady with 3 legs and 4 legs ran to catch the number 5 train when she stumbled and fell hard. After that, he also arrived at the place Chai-woo requested. At this time, the boy also came to the place and observed his mother's expression. After that, she texts Minwo's mother to leave her suitcase on the next train and get off the train. Chai-woo stepped on the train first and prepared his posture to get the suitcase of money. But Lady Ami remained motionless, causing Chai-woo to step off the train. After that, this tram also left. Chai-woo immediately called the lady and asked, "Why don't you do as I tell you?" Minwo's mother said that if I give her money, what is the guarantee that my son will be spared? If something happens to my son, you won't be safe. Chai-woo heard the latter's screams and lost his temper. The lady continued to say, "If there is no proof that my child is still alive, you should not accept a single sou." Minwo's mother continued to scream loudly, causing Chai-woo to appear to be cramped. When he turned around, he saw that the lady had approached him. So Chai-woo immediately turned off the phone. After that, he left Lady Amos' search site. Chai Wu walks out of the station when he hears bearheads. Going inside to find Lady Ami and the angler. The lady walked out when Yongho's henchmen drove to the procession to meet the emperor. The chairman told the lady, "I first met her husband 20 years ago, when her company was on the verge of bankruptcy. Since then, her husband's company has become a money laundering machine for our organization. That's why her husband has the opportunity to live like today. Now our organization covers all over China and Southeast Asia. And of course, this organization has many secrets that need to be kept secret. That's why when I learned that my wife was threatened, I sent Yongho's henchmen to secretly make sausages. Because I was afraid that our secrets would be exposed. Therefore, the lady was not told to the police. If the police investigate, our business will be immediately detained. We will definitely find your son, even if it is just a corpse. For the wife, the son is everything. For us, business is more important than life." The lady walked out and told the victim Yongo, "My son used to have class meetings with his high school classmates a few times. I gave you 3 days to bring my son back alive." Chihu stood at the payphone pole and asked Junsung to come out to meet. Chihu told the truth to his friend. "I made a blackmail call to Minwo's mother here. This morning I asked her to come to the subway to get 1 billion. But she refused to hand over the money. Everything went according to plan, but at the last minute, she suddenly stopped listening to me. She said she had to see Minwo alive before giving him the money. I think there seems to be someone behind the scenes who gave directions to Minwo's mother, but not the police." After hearing this, Junsung is disturbed because he has not been able to end this case and has not received the money. Chihu persuaded his friend to continue with the plan when Yongsung grabbed him by the collar. Chihu said that it wasn't because you released Minwo that I had to do this. If we want to live, Minwo must be loaded. Chihu always knelt on the ground to beg Junsung. "If I didn't have that money, my life would be over. Please help me again this time." Junsung immediately brushed away his arm and showed a very helpless attitude. Then he received a call from his father's phone number. The guy rushed to the hospital and rushed into the operating room. Suddenly, Junsung is given a slap by his sister. The younger sister cried and said that her father's stomach was completely broken. The doctor said that my father's organs were broken. It's all because his extreme debt is miserable. After he escaped and enlisted in the army, the loan sharks continued to terrorize our family. I don't want to see his face anymore. After the surgery, Junsung visits his father and remembers. Previously, when the guy enlisted in the army to evade debt, was kindly hugged by his father to say goodbye. The father also promised that he would think of a way to repay the debt for his son. So don't think too much. I just enlisted in the army and maintained my health. Let dad take care of everything. Son, I love you. Junsung saddens his father. Stepping out, Chihu was also waiting outside. Junsung said softly, "When I was in the army, I told myself that I would never disappoint him again. But after being discharged from the army, everything was like this." When Chihu says I'm sorry, Junsung says it's all up to me. Now let's follow what Minwo revealed. If you still don't get anything, then follow your original plan. I beg you, I can't disappoint my father again. This time, please do as I say. If I can't, I'll do what you ask. After a moment's hesitation, Chihu said, "I'll give you 3 days to try out the plan you made." The two go home and open the cabinet where Minwo is being held and prepare to carry out the plan. But suddenly there was a knock on the door outside. Junsung looked through the crack in the door and saw a person holding up a dirty police card, so the guy could only look helplessly at his friend Chihu. After a while, the two dragged the hostage friend Minwo outside with his whole body soaked. Chihu performs CPR on Minwo, and Junsung tried to wake his friend up. After a while, Minwo also chokes on the water and breathes again. The police officer father went to the police academy to meet his sister and announced that he had come to the house yesterday. When he entered the house, he only saw 2 young men in the house. He had also deliberately searched all the rooms in the house. Then I saw the universal card that I had dropped in the toilet, so I took it back. I went into the bedroom and saw the cabinet as you told me. But when he opened the cabinet, he didn't see anyone inside. He tried to search in the back, but only saw a washing machine working and shaking violently. But because it was just out of balance, he didn't find anyone but 2 boys in that house. I returned the universal key to this one. The policeman told me that I could clearly hear them arguing and threatening each other, but I really didn't see it with my own eyes. The policeman immediately laughed and said, I didn't see it with my own eyes. It's nonsense. I'm about to take an interview, so I need some real stories to tell, right? The police officer was very angry when her brother suspected that she had come up with this story herself. After that, the two of them argued loudly with each other. Jun Sung and Cha, who took the bus to a place near the warehouse where Minwoo said they were hiding money. The two went to the rooftop of a house and used binoculars to observe the situation. Jun Sung said that if he took the money in the warehouse closely, it would be safer than taking Minwoo's mother's money. When he asked what about the password to open the close end, Jun Sung said we were going home and asked Minwoo. But now he's so angry that he's been put in the washing machine. After all, we are really too much for him. The two go home and ask Minwoo what the password is, but the guy asked to take me there before I said the closing password. Che, who is suspicious and thinks that Minwoo is hatching some kind of conspiracy, so the two began to argue loudly for a while. It wasn't until the Jun was tense that the two stopped. Minwoo gently convinces Jun Sung to let him go there. I will open the conclusion so that the three of us can share the money and become each other's accomplices. I'm not going to do anything bad, but to do this you need a lot of money to do it. At this time, the subordinate Yong Ho took Lady Amy to see a hypnotist expert, in order to help the mother remember the night that Minwoo went missing. Did he tell his mother who he was going to meet? The hypnotist made 5 fingers dance in front of the lattice eyes. Then she also fell asleep. The mother begins to travel back in time to the time when Minwoo asks to leave the house to hang out with her friends. After that, he remembered that Minwoo once said that he would go out with a friend named Lim Taejong. But actually, this friend did not come to the meeting at that time. Chae-woo went to school and met 3 rich classmates who cheated on the exam with him, and asked them for some compensation for damages, but the 3 classmates did not agree. Suddenly, the ball line went off, and Jun Sung with a hammer appeared, and tried to be as aggressive as possible. The guy strangled a rich man and demanded 2 million won in compensation for each of them. If you don't want to end your life here. And the police officer Soo En is now participating in an interview to apply to become a national police officer when asked by the jury. When the safety of oneself and the victim is in a dangerous situation, then how will she decide? But the policewoman had a stiff throat and didn't know how to answer. The policewoman left sadly and called him to tell his lover. I must have missed the interview, brother. She saw Chae-woo crouching in a car. The two bowed their heads to greet each other. Later, the policewoman saw Chae-woo carrying a large suitcase into the house. Chae-woo carried the suitcase into the house and asked Minwoo to come in here and lie down before he could come along. Minwoo immediately scolded Woo for being a psychopath. Chae-woo was about to hit Minwoo, but Jun Sung stopped him. Minwoo grabbed a hammer and stood up and said clearly that it was okay for me to put it in my suitcase. Minwoo covered his mouth and curled up his body to fit snugly into the suitcase. After that, the suitcase was also closed. The shaggy-haired junior and the secretary of the Lady Ami came to the house to meet Minwoo's young friend. The shaggy-haired man immediately attacked this guy and asked where Minwoo was. When the boy asked who you were, the secretary held a flat lamp straight at his head. The young man was so scared that he said I was Minwoo's classmate. A few days ago, we made an appointment for him to go out drinking with a few more children. But I didn't come. So he went drinking with Chae-woo and Jun Sung. Chae-woo seems to be living in a rented building near the medical school. After that, the secretary sent a message to inform the subordinate Yang Ho about the location where Chae-woo was staying, so he immediately ran there. The policewoman stood outside and saw the 2 boys from the house opposite, carrying a big suitcase into the car. Then the policewoman saw a motorbike. Yang Ho's juniors now drove a lot of cars to this building. Suddenly, they were hit by a truck. Then when Jun Sung and Chae-woo drove the car away, then the cars of the first children also came right behind. They ran inside, then broke the door of the apartment that Chae-woo was renting. Now the 2 boys have also driven the car away safely, and the police officer was riding a motorbike following the iron behind. The 2 drove to park outside the warehouse area. Then he saw the manager locking the door to go home. The policewoman looked at the car and saw no one else. Then he saw 3 boys entering the warehouse. The policewoman immediately remembered the question that the interviewer had asked her in the morning. So she decided to protect the victim. Jun Sung used alkali to cut the fence, and then the 3 of them walked inside one after another. The 3 of them go to the warehouse where Minwoo once said there was money in it. When Jun Sung and Chai Woo were struggling to break the 3 locks, a hammer that was hidden in his hand came out and was about to go down. Suddenly, the policewoman screamed loudly and picked up the phone to record everything. The policewoman asked everyone to stand still or I would send this video to the police. You have that flashlight and walk over here, and at this time the 2 boys know that Min Woo is holding a hammer. Min Woo also said that there was not a single silver coin in it. The policewoman asked Min Woo to get out on the motorcycle. There will be dazzling looms out there, you should drive to the police station right away. I'm going to stay here to stop these 2 guys. As Min Woo walked away, Chai Woo and Jun Sung saw something in front of them. The policewoman turned her back and saw a man pointing a gun at them all and asked them all to stand still. The manager immediately fired a shot at the warehouse and asked everyone to lie face down. The manager immediately called to inform his arrangement. There was a group of children who were sneaking into our money laundering place, and he immediately ordered the iron to be checked first. The manager opened the warehouse door and checked the iron inside. Min Woo was so scared that he immediately cried and lamented all sorts of things. So the manager pointed the muzzle of the gun at him. The lady drove to the building that Ian Ho's subordinates juniors were surrounding. The lady looked at the cabinet and realized that Min Woo had been locked up here. The secretary ran in and showed the lady a video of 2 young men carrying a large suitcase to the car. Everyone now thought that maybe Min Woo was no longer alive, so he was put in a suitcase. But the lady said, "Until I saw the body with my own eyes, my son was still alive. Immediately went to find my son for me. I gave him 3 days, and now there is only 1 day left." The manager of the warehouses now receives a phone call ordering them all to be killed, as the man picks up his dirty gun and prepares to shoot. Then Min Woo immediately read out the password to open the iron knot. That was his birthday. The owner of this iron knot was his father named Park Woo-nam. The letter WN is the name of my family's company. The manager heard it, and immediately called to inform the situation to Mr. Shin. Suddenly Jun Sung stood up and attacked this manager. After a while, Jong Sung was written by this old man on the wall, the policeman, and immediately ran to save him. The policeman shouted for Min Woo to run away. After that, an explosion sounded, causing all 3 of them to fall. The old man took the gun back and loaded the bullet, and he ran over and knocked the gun to the ground. Min Woo ran over and sucked his head so hard that all 3 of them threw him into the warehouse, woke up and kicked the old man repeatedly with his foot. Min Woo also has 1 leg to trample the old man, and Jun Sung wakes up and runs to his 2 crazy friends. After that, he saw that the old man was quite seriously injured, so he immediately pulled the cover to go out, but both of them tripped. Che, who discovered that Jun Sung's shirt was covered in blood, and it was bloodshot from the police officer Suin, who was spreading in the field because he was hit by a bullet earlier. The medical school student ran out and examined the wounds of the policewoman, and when she went to find her colleague, she saw that the iron door had opened. She then tried to take the bullet out of the girl's body, but the policewoman had now let go of her body and took her last breath. Jun Sung immediately asked to check on the girl's condition, but the medical student just shook his head and burst into tears. While Jun Sung was extremely disturbed by the departure of the policeman, Che, who regained his composure and ran inside the iron cabinet. When the worm of the door entered, he saw that the inside was only money, and Min Woo sat down on the ground and said that the whole life of the people was gone, it was really over. Che, who couldn't resist the attraction of money, so he ran outside and drove the car over. The guy ran into the iron cabinet and collected the money into the bags. Min Woo stopped and said, "This is not our money." Che, who immediately dragged the guy by the neck to the car, and then loaded the money bags into the car. Che, who ran over and pulled Jun Sung away. Then all 3 of them got into the car and drove the car away from the scene. Che, who drove to a motel, and at this time, Min Woo confessed that, "I didn't think there was real money in it. But we can't touch that money because its owner is a very scary person. If you let them catch you, it will be dangerous for your whole family," said Cha Hu loudly. "Whether you take the money or not, you will be chased, so it is better not to take the money than to take it." When Che Hu got out of the car, Min Woo begged Jun Sung to lend him the phone to call his mother. "Maybe because of this, my mother will be uncertain, I beg you." Che Hu turned around and asked Jun Sung to give him the phone. The guy took out the phone in Jun Sung's pocket, then smashed Jun Sung's 2 smartphones and his own. The subordinate Ian coughed when he arrived at the warehouse location when he was informed by the junior. There was a girl who had stopped breathing here. It seems that she was shot by the manager while trying to run away. It was a coincidence that she had identity documents in her wallet, and it turned out that the address she was living in was the house opposite the house of the Che Hu. It is possible that she was an accomplice in Min Woo's arrest and tried to steal the money from the warehouse. Ian Ho ordered a search of all security cameras around the area. They must be found tonight, and then they find the manager who is still moving and still alive. The three boys were now staying in the motel, and Che who asked Min Woo to tell them about those dangerous people. Min Woo told my family to call him the chairman. His fortune is up to $1 trillion, but he is not an ordinary businessman but someone who can deal with anyone. If we are caught by him, not only will we die, but our whole family will also suffer the same fate, Chow who said worriedly, but then said, "Isn't that a good thing, because now that you've become our accomplices, we need to get out of Seoul as far as possible at all costs." When things calm down and this 20 billion guan will be divided equally among the three of them, Jun Sung told him to forget the dead girl's phone. She's been able to turn around the faces of all three of us. Do you think they won't be able to find us? There are 2 people who have died, this bastard. Che who immediately said that one person was self-defense, and the other girl was not killed by me, so what are you afraid of? Jun Sung immediately hit Hu with a cover. Che who was about to fight back, but he said, instead of worrying, think about how to go. Do we still have a way back? Jun Sung went out of the car and used water to wash the wound on his hand, because he had been hit by a bullet that flew past him earlier. The guy burst into tears because he had indirectly caused the other policewoman to die. The subordinate Ion Ho reported to the chairman that some of our money had been stolen. It seemed that the culprits were the people who kidnapped Min Woo. The chairman suspected that it was Lady Amy who had made up a pretense from the beginning to steal the money. But the Ionic Cough insisted that she was also a deceived person, and the chairman immediately ordered to bring the lady here tomorrow, and I will ask her directly. At the motel now, taking advantage of the time when Che Woo went into the bathroom, Min Woo immediately turned on the hairdryer and proceeded to beg Jun Sung. "Help me go to my mother, I'll give you all the money. Those people are scary, but my mother can save us. I don't want to be like this, I beg you, you will get 20 billion yuan, think carefully, you can save your father and I can save my mother." In the middle of the night, while sleeping, Min Woo woke up and tried to run away, but found that his legs had been chained to the bed, so he couldn't move anymore. At this time, Che Woo's brick phone reported a message, so the boy immediately got off the bed and sneaked outside to call someone. The policeman's lover went to the apartment where the policeman was staying to look for the girl. After that, he received a phone call from the policeman. His father announced a very sad news. He didn't know what happened to Suin, he was already loaded. The news board reported that the body of a girl in her 20s was found on a mountain, and the victim died not long ago. It is possible that she was hit by a stray bullet while entering the illegal hunting area, and the 3 boys also viewed this message board at the motel. The subordinate Ion Ho personally came to the house to help the lady to meet the wild chairman. The chairman informed the lady, "I have good news and bad news. The good news is that her son is still alive. The bad news is that her son and 2 of his friends have put our organization in danger." This is the axis that shows that her son went to hide with them, and the lady was very happy that her genius was still alive, so she immediately left. The chairman said to Ion, coughing, "She only cared about whether her son was still alive or not. Whether we are in danger or not, she also ignores. I hate her attitude so much. You find her son and get rid of him. By the way, get rid of that crazy mother." The Ionic Cough went downstairs when Lady Ami asked, "Where did you find my son?" The subordinate said that we were looking for the license plate, so we would find it soon. The junior ran to announce that he had found the car at a nearby motel. At this time, Jun Sung was loading money into the car. Min Woo kept making sure that he hid another phone. I called someone through him. Che who stepped out and announced that we needed to change to another car, then go to the convenience store to buy food. Min Woo continued to persuade Jun Sung not to listen to Che Hu's words anymore. He needed his mother and daughter to come to get rid of those people. Che who went to the convenience store and saw a lot of boys coming to the motel, including Min Woo's mother. Now Jun Sung was moved, so he unlocked it for Min Woo and said, "I only need the same amount of 500 million as originally to repay the debt. But don't let yourself bear the consequences." Min Woo agrees to Jun Sung's request. Cha who runs to the car and asks the driver to hurry up. The convenience store sold out all the food, and then Jun Sung also drove the car away. All the thugs pulled up to the room in the motel. The junior announced that he had reviewed the camera data, but indeed the other 2 stayed in this room with Min Woo last night. According to the history of going online, they have searched for information about where to buy fake cars. It seemed that they were going to change to another car. The lady asked the master to search for all the dealers selling used cars nearby. As for Yong Ho, go back to Seoul with me. The 2 went downstairs, when the lady had already stepped into the car. Then Yong Ho saw that the 2 juniors of the wild chairman were present at this place. Yong Ho drove the lady to Jun Sung's restaurant, Then the lady went inside alone. Two of Chairman Huang's subordinates had also followed him all the way here. And just now these two guys said to Yong Ho, "The president sent us to help him get rid of Lady Ami." So now the Yong Ho drove away. Min Woo's mother goes into the restaurant. And seeing the photos of Jun Sung with his father from childhood to now. After that, I asked my sister, "Where is my father? Why is he not at the store? My brother didn't call back." The sister cried and said, "Because of him, my father is in the hospital and in critical condition. If you ask for a debt, find him and ask for it." The lady immediately pulled out a check for 1,000,000 won to pay for the meal. The lady walked out when two of the chairman's juniors came over and said, "The head of the Yong Ho department has something to do first, so we will take the lady away." Suddenly, Yong Ho drove over and told the two juniors, "I will personally take her back." The police officer father was informed by his colleague. It is very difficult to catch the perpetrator of his sister's murder. There are no security cameras nor witnesses. And the hunters said they didn't know anything. The police officer was angry when his sister had died in a cruel way. But there was no way to find the culprit. The lover ran over and cried, begging to see her lover's face for the last time. After that, the two boys hugged each other and cried because they had both lost their loved ones. Jun Sung and Che, who drove to a second-hand car dealership and decided to lock Minyu in a suitcase, let the two go inside and ask to buy a car. The two guys went into the office and told the receptionist the truth that we wanted to buy a fake car. She immediately called the boss to personally receive customers to buy fake cars. The owner told us that we had an extremely suitable fake car. It's only 99 new, costs 30,000,000 won, and doesn't need a citizen's apartment or any papers. After that, Che, who said that I would go get the money, and Jun Sung waited forever without seeing his friend come back. Then Che, who ran over and announced that the car was gone. The two immediately ran to the parking lot, but they didn't see the car containing the money. Che, who said that he should have gone away. Jun Sung asked, "Didn't he keep the car keys?" And Che, who immediately pulled out the car keys. The two were confused because they thought the car had been dragged away by the thugs. "Our lives will end from here." Miss Shui Xian walked over and said that you left the car on the 3rd floor just now, right? He went down 1 floor to meet the boss. The two immediately ran upstairs and saw that their money cart was still parked here. The Yong Ho drove Ming-us mother home, and the lady said that he seemed to be a good person. "If you want to kill me, you should find and kill my son first." The junior knocked on the car door and announced, "We're going to get rid of her tonight, and it's the president who ordered me to do it personally." After a while, the parachute-haired man and his juniors began to surround the managers at the used car dealership. He called to inform Yong Ho, "I found the license plate they bought." They had been walking for more than 10 minutes, and the Yong Kof told them to wait, don't chase them in a hurry. Mrs. Amos' secretary went to the hospital to meet Jun Sung's father and told my father that he was a policeman. The 3 boys were driving away when Minyu said I wanted to go to the bathroom. So the 3 of them immediately drove at an abandoned convenience store. After that, let Minyu go to the toilet to deal with her grief. Jun Sung said to Che, who, "I'm really scared. I'm afraid that in the end we'll kill you. When I saw my father seriously ill, I really wanted to see you become a doctor. You're right, that girl wasn't killed by us. And that old man is just a legitimate defense. But if we do something stupid, we will become murderers. We have to stop." The guy who covered the Who also shed tears when he heard it. Suddenly, the two heard the sound of broken glass inside the toilet. When he ran in, he saw that the glass door had broken and Mingyu had escaped in time. Che, who immediately ran away to chase after Mingyu, and Jun Sung drove behind him. Jun Sung drove over and slammed into the barricade to block Minna's head, but he was unconscious due to being impacted. Covering the void on Mingyu's body caused both of them to be rolled into an open field. Mingyu held a stone and slapped it on Che-hu's face, then cried and said, "What did I do wrong to you? You put me in the suitcase and I couldn't breathe. Then it's your turn to taste misery." The two began to rush at each other, causing Mingyu to drop a stone to the ground. Cover Hun-yen for a few things. But Mingyu just took a sharp stone and stabbed it into Che-hu's thigh. After that, he was about to pin the stone to Che-hu's body, and the guy immediately called Jun Sung to ask for help. Jun Sung woke up and saw 2 friends fighting outside. The boy ran over and knocked Mingyu down, then chained his friend to believe Mingyu. While making a joke, he muttered, and then he let go of his body, and then he let go of his body. Che, who was extremely surprised by the actions of his friend Jun Sung, Che, who began to help his friend Jun Sung get into the car with him to flee the scene, and let Min Yu stay. Che, who drove to a motel, and then brought all the money to the room. Che, who tries to reassure his friend Jun Sung, and then the two make a few bottles of wine to overcome their fears. The Hong chairman met Yong Ho's subordinate privately and asked, "Why are you preventing my people from dealing with Lady Ami?" Yong Ho said that if he wanted to find those boys, he needed her. The chairman immediately mentioned the merit of raising Yong Ho for the past 20 years when he was just a blind child, so the Yong Kof immediately promised to personally deal with Lady Ami. Che, Hu and Jun Sung are now preparing to drive away to continue their escape journey. Then Jun Sung asked his friend to borrow the phone. "I know you have a brick phone, you used it to call the professor the night before, right? I need to call my dad and the creditor. Let's leave Korea together. After I pay off the debt and give my father some money, let's go abroad. It's the only way we don't have to run away." Che, who took out the phone and asked, "I'm the one who will plan and decide where to go." Jun called the creditor to make an appointment for a place to deliver the money. After that, he called his father and advised him, "Dad, remember to take care of your health for the time being, you can't go home. I will leave my things in the locker at the Darjeeling train station. Dad told my sister to go there and get things. Wait for me to handle everything, I will get back to you. I love you." At this time, the secretary was also at her father's bedside. I went out and texted Lady Amy to inform her. Jun Sung will go to the locker at the Darjeeling train station. The lady immediately texted the Yong Ho to know. After that, I planned to go to that train station, but he saw someone searching his refrigerator. The lady walked over gently and saw blood stains on the refrigerator door, and it turned out to be Min Woo's son, the policeman's father and his sister's lover. Arriving at the scene, they found a motorbike that had been left here 2 days ago. This is also the place where the police officer's phone was turned on for the last time. The two searched in the surrounding lawn. Then he saw the policeman's phone under a puddle. Che, who took Jun Sung to the station and told Jun Sung, "They'll find a way to exchange this money before I can take it away." When Jun Sung stepped out of the car, Che, who immediately told him, "Let's go on a safe road." After that, Jun Sung carried 2 bags of money and went inside. Ian Ho's subordinate also followed. As for the shaggy hair, he and his juniors drove after Che Hu's car. Jun Sung went to the storage cabinet and put 2 bags of money inside the cabinet. Then he left. The Ian Ho also followed the button closely. Jun Sung carries a backpack into a loan shark. At this time, Che, who drove to a bridge. Then he hesitated to think of something. The guy took out his phone and dialed the phone number that Jun Sung had called before. Now Jun Sung is proceeding to repay the debt to the creditor. After the creditor's name confirms that he has received enough money, Jun Sung was about to get up and leave, but the creditor stopped him and said, "Someone just entrusted you to me. He promised to pay me another 200 million troops. In return, he wanted me to take the food and throw you into the sea. And do you know who that person is? It's your friend. That guy said he wanted to talk to you one last time." Jun Sung opened the phone and said, "I can't leave this country. I thought a lot, but there was no way. We can't go on like this forever. I'm sorry for you," Jun Sung said with tears in his eyes. "What you want will not go your way. I really want to save both you and Min Woo, but now it can't be done." Slowly, he would understand it soon. Suddenly, the cover was blocked by the haired man. A barehead man smashed the windshield of the car. After that, these barehead men began to crush the cover for a fight. Jun Sung was arrested by thugs and dragged into the operating room. Then he was injected with anesthesia. Suddenly, Ian coughed and walked in. Then he used his bare hands to knock down each of the thugs here one by one. After that, the beauty of the company's owner's name gave him a heavy role. Ian Ho goes into the operating room and asks Jun Sung where Min Woo is. Jun Sung said he was still alive. The hairy guy walked in and confirmed that he had caught the cover. Ian Ho walked out and saw Lady Ami, who was here. It turned out that this hairy guy had been a spy for Lady Ami for a long time. The lady now declares, "I will take responsibility for the association and turn it into a mall." He returned to the football field and left. "Thank you for protecting me all this time." Then the lady received a phone call from the secretary informing her, "The name of the wild chairman has been dealt with. As for Jun Sung and Jae Hee, they will be dealt with as follows." The lady asked to consult Min Woo. At this time, Jae Hee is being tied up and gagged. just like he had treated Min-woo before. After that, someone walked in and covered Jae-hee's face with a plastic bag, until the guy is no longer Lure. Jun-sung was taken to the VIP room of a hospital. The guy opened the door and saw Min-woo waiting for him. Min-woo said it was hard to save his life, because he was injected with too many drugs. When Jun-sung asked why he saved me, then Min-woo said, "You saved my life." At that time, he was also very good at acting. "Didn't you chain me by the neck the other day and ask me to pretend to be something?" At that time, I understood what you meant, so I pretended to deceive Jae-hoo. Jun-sung immediately asked Jae-hoo how he was. Then Min-woo said that I actually wanted to deal with both of you. "But I can't do that to you, because you always say sorry to me. In the past, the person who carried me to the school's infirmary was also you. But I won't forgive you either. Let's not see each other again. Live well. And no one has touched the closet at the subway station. You take care of it yourself." Jun-sung went to open the locker at the subway station. Then I saw that the money was still intact. But the guy decided not to use this money. Suddenly, the police officer appeared and announced the arrest of Jun-sung for many crimes such as detention, assault, and murder. Many years passed and Jun-sung was also released from prison. The guy holds a receipt from the storage cabinet at the subway station and asked the overseer to throw it away and use me. Jun-sung went to a station and saw young men who were being discharged home. Then, as I walked, I felt like someone was calling my name, making the guy burst into tears. Then he also walked to continue the journey of rebuilding his life. After making too many mistakes,